Sonny Gray dominates the Royals. The Twins dominate the Royals again. It's been a Royal domination all year long. Let's break this one down on today's Locked On Twins postcast.
You are Locked On Twins postcast, part of Locked On Sports Minnesota, your team every day.
And welcome to another edition of our Locked On Twins postcast. It's Wednesday, September 14th. I'm the host of Locked On Twins, Nash Walker, here with writer and reporter at Access Twins, Mr. Brandon Warren. Before we get started, summer's winding down. The nights are getting longer, but the breeze isn't the only thing that's getting stiff. That's right. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. So head over to Blue Chew. Got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code Locked On at checkout. Just pay $5 in shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code Locked On. Brandon, Sonny Gray dominates the Royals, and his ERA as a Twin is below 3, 291 on the season. He was outstanding tonight.
No question about it. 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. And if you take away that ninth inning, and easy for me to say last night, the Twins have been absolutely suffocating to this Royals offense. And I don't know if you heard, but I think it was the ninth inning there, Dick made mention of that series that I talked about with the Royals and even mentioned the Kyle Loesch shutout in game 3 of that series. I want to say it was 3 straight shutouts. So it might have been Johan, Radke, and Loesch. I'm going to go back and look it up. But that kind of was fun. And maybe it made me think that maybe Dick Raymer is a Locked On Twins postcast listener. That'd be pretty sweet.
5 wins in a row against the Royals. And to be honest with you, these matchups, some of them have been closer. Last night got a little bit hairy, but the Twins they've owned Kansas City, and they swept the Royals in the middle of that Angels-Royals-Rangers stretch where they didn't play very well outside of that Royals series. So it feels like maybe this is the penicillin. Like the Twins are for the Yankees, maybe Kansas City is for the Twins. Although I think they've always played the Twins tough, even when the Twins are good. But this year it's been they're 11-4 against the Royals.
Unbelievable. And still a few more games to go, including an entire series here, just less than a week away. Yeah. So
Kaufman.
Right. I love the K, man. Yeah. I've been there a couple of times. It's awesome. Just a very strong team effort. Twins 10 games over 500 at home, which is exactly what you would hope for. And 2 Twins pitchers threw 120 pitches tonight, 87 strikes. So just a workmanlike effort. Thielbar comes in, does his thing. Jorge Lopez has, I don't know if you'd call it a hiccup, but there was one moment in my mind, and you can tell me if you felt the same way or where it was. All right, here we go again. Jorge Lopez getting back on the carousel.
Yeah. And I do think this is an important 3-week stretch for him, even if the Twins are out of it, just to instill some confidence for 2023. I think that's really important for him to do in the next couple of weeks. Gavin, is it true that Ober is making his next start with the Twins? I would guess, barring a setback, he's going to start in Cleveland. I think it's going to be Winder, Varland, and Ober in those first 3 games, and then Joe Ryan and Sonny Gray in 4 and 5. That's what I think it lines up. So I think that's true, Gavin. They push McKenzie back to Friday, so it's going to be Tristan McKenzie Friday. And then I think Bieber one of the games on Saturday. So not ideal for the Twins, but I think they're also setting that up for their White Sox series next week. There's some finagling going on here.
My initial thought was that they were pushing back McKenzie to face the Twins to kind of ramp up for that series, but Chicago's closer to them right now, so that doesn't really stand up. Although, who knows? Maybe in a couple of days that won't be true anymore, knock on wood. But it's going to be hopefully everything we thought this last series at Target Field would be, as far as the Twins controlling their own destiny, commanding their own destiny. Strangely enough, they still can do that no matter how many blips on the radar screen they've had on the way to being 1 game over 500 to this point.
Yeah, 0 at a minimum. I think you got to win 4 out of 5 this week. They need to beat Kansas City tomorrow. They have no room for error anymore if they have any chance of getting back into this thing. But minimum, I think 4 out of 5. I think you and I had kind of maybe discussed that a little bit. 4 out of 5 is the minimum there in Cleveland. If you can get 5, that would be incredible. But it's unlikely.
But you got to go. If you figure you go 14-6, including tonight, that means Cleveland has to go 9-11 for there to be a virtual tie. I have to believe they'd have the tiebreaker based on how they've owned the Twins. So that's tough. That's really tough.
And they got 6 against Kansas City to finish at home. So it's an uphill battle.
Hey, if it's not worth the war isn't worth winning if you don't have to fight for it. So we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, all the Twins can do is just focus on themselves. Cleveland's won 6 in a row. I mean, this team with Francona, it just feels like they're kind of getting into gear now, and they're trying to put the rest of the division in the rear view. The White Sox and Guardians will play tomorrow, just a standalone afternoon game. It's going to be Hunter Gaddis and Lance Lynn, which should be interesting. And obviously, I think at this point, the Twins are chasing 2 teams, so that's another factor in this. But even if the Twins don't win or come back in a miraculous fashion, beating the White Sox would be nice to finish second.
I gotta be honest with you, man. The Guardians are freaking annoying. I don't know if I can say freaking on your show, but or our show, freaking though. They remind me of the late Metro, well, not late Metrodome, the early Guardy Twins with, if Jose Ramirez is your Joe Mauer, maybe your Brad Radke is, Bieber's probably closer to like a Santana, but a team that is complete. They pick each other up. You look at the team and you're not impressed by their roster top to bottom. They got a bullpen that gets it done late, and then basically a lockdown closer. I mean, if you were to have me compare this to someone, it's like the 2002 Twins, which I don't know how old you were, but it was a lot of fun for me to watch as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, I was 2. Gavin says I also
come on.
I also feel like people have been saying we'll get reinforcements for like a month and a half, but it's still crickets out there. I thought Polo was going to be back tonight. Jorge Polanco. I figured he would be back tonight. I'm just going to stop assuming that he's going to be back because there was the lefty in game 1. I was like, he'll be back tonight for Greinke, but still no Polanco.
Well, and speaking of guys coming back or not, you want to talk about Randy Dobnak for a split second here? I saw he was put on outright waivers. Paper move. I know a lot of people are kind of bamboozled by it, but he's going to stay in the organization. He's not going to opt out or anything because I think since it's his first outright, he can't anyway, and nobody's going to claim him. So it just opens up a 40-man spot, hypothetically, in the offseason. Not right now because he was on the 60. But, just a paper move that really doesn't make any difference. And if he can get healthy and contribute again, they'll add him right back to the 40, just like they did Jake Cave, who, he's in the middle of a pretty rough patch right now, but we'll just let that be.
So Randy Dobnak's going from the 60 straight on to, assume nobody picks him up on waivers. He's going to go straight back into the org, but just off the 40-man is what you're saying.
I guess procedurally they had to activate and then put him on outright waivers. I think I saw the way it was relayed to me when I shared it was that it was just, he was on outright waivers with no other explanation.
Okay. So Randy Dobnak expected to be back into the org if he clears waivers, which because they extended him, he's got money owed on a contract.
It's 7.95 is the math I did for what he's owed after this season. So prorate whatever he's making this year. You're really talking about just a hair over $8 million, which is not a ton, but this is a guy who has more walks than strikeouts at St. Paul right now. And I don't think anybody wants that.
Reese, speaking of St. Paul, Simeon Richardson was great again tonight for the Saints. Will he get a call up this year yet? Well, I tweeted this and I say it often. The average competition for Simeon Richardson is 6 years younger at AAA than him. He's so young. He's young. Yep. Yeah, he's incredibly young. I don't think we're going to see him with the Twins this year, but this development I think is one of the most important we've seen this year, Brandon, that he, after last year, has come back and he's going to be in the running for minor league pitcher of the year. I think he has a really good case.
Yeah, what is that? Is that the Jim Rant or the Sherry Robertson? I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, that's what Louis Varland was last year. All I'll say is this, and I'm sure the joke will go over 99% of people's heads, but the situation is fluid with Simeon Richardson. No, I don't see it. I don't see it happening this year. They're already kind of bottlenecked with trying to find innings for Louis Varland and getting back Winder, getting back Ober. As much as it would be great, they're actually in a good spot with Gray, Ryan, and then some young guys with some potential after them. And Dylan Bundy's still going to take his turn every 5th day. So as much as I'd like to see SWR, they're kind of up against it with the 40-man and 28-man right now. So I don't see it.
But for next year, I mean, hopefully
Yes.
another rotation option for 2023, which again is a very important development in all of
Mhm.
this, considering where he was a year ago. Right now, with a 5+ ERA at AA, he's been outstanding at the upper minors this year. So that's a great
Yeah.
development.
I mean, he's been traded for some really good players.
Yeah.
Marcus Stroman, Jose Barrios. Those are, those are two very good mid to upper rotation guys. There's a reason why he's this well regarded, and it's exciting to think about what his potential looks like. Probably starting as soon as maybe early to mid next season.
Guy we've seen a lot, Daniel Lynch, going to go in the finale for Kansas City against Dylan Bundy. Need a much better Bundy start in that finale. Like we said, this is a must sweep for the Twins. Brandon, what do you expect in the finale?
Well, I got to look here. Oh, it's not an afternoon game. It could be a Lynch
I
lunch, I
thought
guess.
I'm wondering why it's not. I don't know why it's not a day
Strange.
game. It's weird to me.
Twins just have to do more of what they've done. We'll have a different lineup construction, facing the lefty, but other than that, it's going to be, more of the same. They need to do more of the same. There's no denying that they've squandered all the chances they had to take care of business against a lot of teams this year. I think Kansas City's about the only one I feel like they've really dominated. And so, they're in this situation because they put themselves in this situation. How do they respond? Hopefully with a W tomorrow, and then, go in and knock some heads over the weekend.
Twins going for the sweep on Thursday. Brandon, thank you. Sonny Gray, tremendous tonight. Twins win 4-0 over the Kansas City Royals in game 2. Gavin, thanks. Reese, thanks. Thanks everybody for joining us always, and we'll be back. Thanks.